It hadn't been as long as I thought regarding the little foo-foo dog. It hadn't been as long as I had thought. I think because I was thinking it'd been longer because my mom wasn't even here last I don't know, she was here. Oh no, she wasn't here. Oh, that went. She wasn't. Almost gone in December of 16. So then we had the winter. Maybe it took a while for the woman. I don't know. This is dated. This is dated September of 17. When I had it, I probably took a while to upload it. I found it. It's an older video. I don't know. Anyway, I'm not moving the lamp in here. Omar, come here! I'm not moving the lamp in here. I just wanted to, I'm in that same outfit where you just saw me with the two videos. I just wanted to remind people who never watched this video where I'm coming from here about the foo-foo dog, okay? There are accidents that happen that are out of your control. Like your dog runs out the door and gets hit by a car, okay? There are tragedies that happen with little kids that is no one's fault. It's just, you know. But if you know your dog has repeatedly run into the road, you know your dog is not trained, and if it sees a person or an animal or whatever, it's not going to come when it's called, even though other times it will if it feels like it come when it's called. You get it? Then why are you going to be so lazy not to put your dog on a leash? And in this instance, again, it could be that if this woman is helpless because she has caregivers, okay, then I think I should write a nice note. Again, and again, I'm only doing this because I care, alright? I told you a year ago about this. I thought it was longer. Apparently it wasn't. This was uploaded in September of 17, but it also says older video. It could be that I never, it got lost or something. Because remember, I had no TV or internet, so I could only upload stuff to the library, so I would get behind. I don't even know how this could be September 17. really don't, because I broke my foot in May of 17, so almost a year ago. I know when I was getting upset and seeing that dog running the road was not after I'd broken my foot. It was before. I think that this video maybe just wasn't ever uploaded until later, because when I got way behind in the library, I couldn't only upload so much at the library, you know what I mean? I was creating videos faster than I could get them up, so I think that's what happened. So it hasn't been 2 years, it's been 1 year, but anyway, it's definitely been like a year. So let me play this. I want you guys to understand something, because it also applies to situations that have happened with my own mother, okay? I didn't, quote, yell, unquote, at the woman in the wheelchair, okay? You have to understand that I've never met this woman, but I know she loves her little foo-foo dog, the little fluff thing, okay? Yesterday it was running around in the street, alright? First of all, be happy that I care enough to bring the foo-foo dog back to the house. I don't have to.
Now this was an instance where that's how, this is how I found out.
This is how I found out that she's actually in a wheelchair, and that's when she explained to me she has to let the dog out, and I bluntly said, I'd let my dog go to the bathroom in the house. Your dog's going to wind up killed. I know you love your dog. I can tell. I know you love the dog, your dog, as much as I love Omar, and unfortunately, you know, it only takes one time. I can tell you firsthand, there are people that go too fast around here. I am not the only one who's complained about that, because we walk and we walk our dogs, and people are supposed to go very slow in cars, and they don't. They don't. They don't. Okay? I cared enough to talk to the woman, and we were trying to come up with solutions. I said, why don't you put him on a runner? He won't go to the bathroom on a runner. Because trying to get solutions with her being in a wheelchair, and apparently she only has caregivers during the week and not on the weekends, and then what can she do? She has to let her dog out. I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. I foresee something happening. You know, your dog, and I've repeatedly seen it. I've repeatedly gotten upset, and actually I thought they lived here longer and they haven't, which means I've gotten upset. But in the winter, it's not going to happen, you know what I mean? When there's snow on the ground and stuff, and I wasn't even walking Omar, so I wouldn't know. I just know that I just met a neighbor, and they're like, oh yeah, I've seen that dog in the road. I'm like, dog's going to wind up killed. So anyway, I wanted to play this old video for you so you can see where I'm coming from here, why I'm so upset right now. Okay, when I'm trying to get to the library, but I'm walking Omar too, to bring the foo-foo dog back to the house. Now, it just so happened, her home health aide was arriving at that moment. So I went up to him, and I said, is this your dog? I didn't know who it was, maybe it's her son, maybe it's whatever. But then I looked at his clothing, I'm like, no, he's a health worker. But he's like, no, it's that woman's dog. I'm like, well, I know it's not supposed to be running around in the street, okay? It's running around in the street, it's going to get hit. Because it wouldn't even come when she...
No, I am not going to be what you call politically correct and keep my little mouth shut, okay? But I also care enough to bring the foo-foo dog home.
I didn't have to. A lot of people just let it be in the street.
I run around the street and say, fuck this shit.
Yeah.
So I scolded the woman, but informed her, the same thing I would do with my mom, from afar. I'm like, your dog's not trained. You can't let the dog out like that. He was running around. She was running around in the street. And I pointed to my own dog. See, he's not trained, and my mom's dog's not trained. You can't let these dogs... And she's like, well, I'm in a wheelchair, and the dog usually comes back. Usually comes back in.
Yeah, usually.
Those people across the street have the poodles. They do the same damn thing. They'll let. I told you, they've let their dogs out. I see them off leash, and usually they'll come back in. They're not trained. Usually they'll come back in.
But one time they both ran across the street.
Unless they see a person or an animal. So you're taking your chances every fucking time. Okay. Am I going to say anything to them? I just know that day that he left the door wide open because out of convenience, and then he goes and yells at his wife, but whatever, but I've seen him since then. The poodle was at the side of the house, and if I...
And they will be devastated too. And
these people's dogs get killed.
It's just laziness, not putting your dog on a leash.
It's not an accident like it's been with our dogs. It's with Omar or Angel.
That's what I was saying.
Okay? So when my mom was ill, and she just thinks, well, she took Angel out, just not even thinking I wasn't around to stop it. Okay, unfortunately. And to find the leash that was right there, literally in front of her fucking face, where she put it, mind you. Okay? But she was losing those leashes, both of them. We had both leashes all the time. Unfortunately. And I can't stay here 24/7. I have stuff sometimes. My mom, you know, he was even talking about how his poops are like the little thing that's like thinks, ooh, someone's moving in, a new friend, and asked, does your mom have a pet? And then he said, yes, she has a little thing that's like, you know, he was even talking about how his poops are like the tiny little things, whatever, and he was going to try to find someone to walk the dog since she's in a wheelchair and cannot do it. And she's like, yeah, I have a girl that comes here every day, but she's sick today. I said, you can't let your dog out. The dog was running around in the street. Do I think it will happen again? Yep. I think that people are just, they take their chances and that's it. But I am starting with the premise that I know by her son and by my common sense, this woman in the wheelchair, this little foo-foo dog's her whole world. She loves the foo-foo dog. She'd be in a wheelchair and perhaps watching from the window as
the dog gets killed.
Okay?
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, but they do go way faster around here than they are supposed to. They've been told not to, but we have people that don't live around here that, you know what I mean? They go way, believe me, I've gotten upset with people. I'm like, Jesus, why don't you go faster? People walk around here, people walk their dogs, people walk around this neighborhood, walk their babies. I mean, you don't. But in any case, foo-foo dog's flat. And the woman would be devastated watching from her wheelchair inside the house.
Imagine.
Now, why is she letting the foo-foo dog out like that? You know damn well why. She doesn't want it to go to the bathroom in the house. Well...
But at least that's more of an excuse than her lazy fucking caregivers who simply don't want to put the dog on the leash. Speaking of which, before she ever moved in, my mom and I were talking. We were out with Angel and Omar and talking, or out with Omar, whatever, but we were talking to the son about the dog. He said, yeah, I'm looking for someone to walk the little dog. So now, I mean, I've never seen that dog out walking. So the dog can't even walk on a leash, and the caregivers can't at least go in the yard with the leash. They have to let the dog out in the yard, even though they know the dog has repeatedly run into the road, if there's some reason to do so. I mean, that's just sick. That is so sick. I just want to shake somebody. It's sickening.
What to tell you, woman, but I am not going to sit back and be quiet, or is that politically correct, and not yell or scold this total stranger when I cared enough to bring her foo-foo dog home. Okay? Just because your dog comes in
She turned around, and she turned out to be a nice person, but she felt like she's in rock in the hard place. She doesn't want the dog to go to the bathroom in the house, of course, and you get it? And I already felt really bad about that. I was trying to come up with solutions. Put the dog on a runner and do something. Have your son set up a runner in the back. Do anything. And instead, even the caregivers let the dog out in the front like he's totally trained. I'm sickened. I'm sickened, people. I am so sickened. I am sickened with the sickened, beyond belief, sickened, lazy fucking bitches can't put the dog on a leash when they're caring for someone who's in a wheelchair and has no legs and that dog's her whole world. Sickened. I wonder how much she's even aware of. I think it's her children that do it too. They don't care. They're lazy motherfuckers if they can't put that little foo-foo dog on a leash and take him out in the yard to go with little duties and come back in. Like the son told my mom and I originally, his duties are, he's a little thing, duties are like nothing, you know. He was, son was talking about it. I'm sickened by people like that. You've seen, okay, until you see it, you don't know, but now you know. You've seen the dog repeatedly go in the street, and you still let him out so he can, one of these days, get killed. I mean, oh my God, I'm sickened. I am sickened that I just walked over and saw that dog from afar and sitting in the street. And the caregiver, I'm sure the woman's had different caregivers, you know, because caregivers come and go, whatever. I'm going to write her a letter just in case she's not aware. She might be completely oblivious to the fact that her caregivers are too lazy to put the dog on a leash. I'm going to tell her. I'm going to tell her. I'm going to tell her that this, I'm sickened. Your little dog is going to wind up killed. It's not trained. You don't let it out, not on a leash, period, if it's not trained. It might, when it's bored and it's scared and there's nothing, like, she used to say, oh, he's a little scaredy cat. I'm like, he's following me and Omar up the road. Even if he's afraid to come near us, he's still following us. He's not that scared. Again, she's in a rock and a hard place when it's her in the wheelchair. This wasn't that. It was her kid, or it was a girl. It was either a caregiver or her daughter or whoever, family member. And I'm shouting from afar, and of course the woman doesn't know why I'm shouting, because she doesn't know that I know that that dog has repeatedly gone into the road. And for all I know, if I don't know any better, it just got out accidentally. It didn't. I just talked to the new neighbors, and they said they've seen the dog go in the road. And I'm like, well, they're like, well, maybe we can do something. Maybe we can complain. I'm like, I don't want to see that dog killed in front of me. Obviously, it might never happen, but it could happen. Why risk it? You know what I mean? It's like, if your dog, why risk it when it's just a matter of fucking laziness? That's what gets me. You know what I mean? The caregivers are not putting this dog on a leash and taking him out. They're just letting him out the door and calling him to come back in. And if there's nothing to distract him, he'll come back in, as the woman told me. I'm like, yeah, but when it's warm weather and people are walking their dogs all the time and whatever, the dog is not going to come back in. We've seen that. You know, I also talked to some neighbors about the hazardous waste situation, what I can do with all those cleaning products. I'm so sick of them. They're probably from when my mom lived elsewhere, which means they're been, because then they're like, well, just set them aside in a box. I'm like, they're under the sink. They've been there for at least 10 years, some longer. I just want them gone. I just can't stand them, okay? I use all natural products. I don't use that shit, and I want it gone. You can't dump it in the lawn. It's hazardous. You don't want to do that. You don't want to dump it down your drain. You can't throw it away. They say, you know, a lot of times it's not legal to throw the stuff away. It could explode in the garbage truck. I mean, what do you do with it? You know, she told me she would look into it and see if there was a place, and she would personally take it for me. Obviously, I'd put it all in bags or boxes or whatever, and she'll take it there. So she's going to find out from me. Because I said, yeah, that still doesn't help me if I don't have a car. What can I do? I just want it gone. You know? I just want it gone. It's been sitting there for too long. I want to clean out under that sink. I want the crap gone. Want it gone. Bottom line, I want it gone. This isn't a case where it's just a little bit old. It's been there forever. I want it gone. It's not going to get used. Windshield wiper fluid's not going to get used. We don't have a car. You know, I want it gone. That's a big thing. I want it gone. It's just a thorn in my side. I just want it gone. I'm trying to clean up.
Times. But what about the very first time? The very first time you tried it, you took your chances and, you know,
Hey.
sit back and be quiet, or is that politically correct, and not yell or scold this total stranger when I cared enough to bring her foo-foo dog home.
And I wasn't close to her. I was raising my voice from afar because I was
Just because
upset.
your dog comes in sometimes. But what about the very first time? The very first time you tried it, you took your chances, and, you know, people are dumb. People are so dumb. I'm sorry, but they're dumb. How much do you want to make about
Oh, and I was talking to neighbors about this too, not understanding. And do you have pets? Would you do this if you had if you did have an untrained dog? No. There are people that think just because it's not a main road, there's no danger. Bull fucking shit. I just had someone say it could be more dangerous around here, potentially. People get complacent. All right. Juxtapose that with those, when that woman moved in years ago over there, my mom and I, her two little dogs ran out, and I lectured her. I just said, you know, you got to be careful around here. Your dogs aren't trained. You can't have them off leash. They got out accidentally, and I never, ever experienced them out again. It never happened again. See, this is just bullshit. This is bullshit. It's the law of averages. This dog is going to wind up dead, and I don't want to wind up being one to see it die after I repeatedly warned this woman what was going to happen, what could possibly happen. It's not me being like, and it's a different situation than with the cat, because that's an elderly woman who she just could not control that cat. It turned into an outdoor cat. That's the bottom line. She wanted it to be an indoor. It's an outdoor. It's still alive all these years later. This is different. This is fucking different. That cat knows what it's doing. This dog will just suddenly run into the road. It's gonna wind up killed, and I repeatedly, and I foresaw it. And you know, what can I do? You want to shake people. Maybe she's too timid to put her foot down with her lazy caregivers, too. Or her lazy children, or whatever. Or she doesn't care enough, or she just, people are stupid. People are whatever, you know.
I've seen that.
I'm flashing back to, this was uploaded in September of 17, but I believe when because it says older video, when I read older video, it was something that I uploaded, but it was created before then. You know what I mean? So, it's close to a year old or whatever. I'm just flashing back.
Dog running around in the backyard. I have a feeling that whoever walks the little dog or comes whatever doesn't come constantly, and that woman
I've never seen that dog walk either. It doesn't even get to walk.
You're off a main road. You know what I mean? But I'm not going to be quiet. All right? I don't care if it's an old woman in a wheelchair. I am scolding her for her own good. From a distance. Was I up on her steps in front of her face? No. Because the health care, but I would have had to be, the health care aide came at that moment. And he brought the dog up, whatever. But I'm not going to just walk away. So I did my good deed to make sure the dog is in safety, and I'm going to keep my little pretty little mouth shut. No. I told her. The same thing I've done with other people. Okay? It's dumb. It's dumb, people. It's dumb to do that. I can guarantee you she's going to keep doing it. I bet you anything I'll be out here doing another video and she's done it again. And every time I will take the time out of my life to bring the foo-foo dog home. Alright? But I'll be at my wit's end. I'll be like, you know, it's only going to take once, and your foo-foo dog's going to go splat while you're watching from your house in a wheelchair.
But little did I know, even her fucking caregivers are lazy bitches who can't put the little dog on a leash.
Little fluff foo-foo dog.
When they've repeatedly seen it go in the street.
You don't want to let it outside by itself, period.
It's not trained.
Do you guys not remember about coyotes around here as well? That foo-foo dog is lunch. As the woman helplessly watches from her house in a wheelchair. She doesn't leave the house, you understand? She's in a wheelchair. I knew that from her son ahead of time. Her son was really nice, okay? And then he said, I said, when are they moving in? Oh, she's still in there, whatever, we don't know. They were cleaning. The grandsons were cleaning, and they were all nice. You know, I talked to them, my mom talked to them, but this was a while back, and he had said, yeah, we're going to be looking for someone, because I said, if she's in a wheelchair, she's going to walk her dog. And he goes, oh, we're going to hire someone, we're going to put up a sign. They found somebody, probably from an agency or something.
No, it turned out they actually found caregivers to take care of her, or someone to take the dog. And they never walk them. I've never seen that dog walk once.
You should have an alternate plan. The alternate plan
lazy, let him out of the yard.
Your foo-foo dog outside and taking your chances. You know what I mean? That foo-foo dog wasn't just in her yard.
At least if it was Monday through, even if she's still, after one way or out the other, she agreed with me. She's like, I know it's dangerous, blah, 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 whatever, but what can I do? I'm in a wheelchair and I only have caregivers Monday through Friday. Okay, but at least if it was just her doing it on the weekend, but these bitch caregivers are doing it every fucking day, more than once a day, letting that dog out and taking their chances that the dog is not going to run into the street. Run after someone like I just saw it an hour ago in the middle of the road. But I was far away and I was yelling, but as the caregiver was going to get it in the road, the dog wasn't coming when he was called. Oh, surprise, surprise. Is that newsflash to you? No. You're a lazy fucking bitch who can't put this old woman's dog on a fucking leash and she can't walk him anymore.
In the street, and then the foo-foo dog went up the other street, and then I took the time to get the foo-foo dog back, but I had the help of the home health aide. He happened to come at that moment. It was his chance. Otherwise, it would have just been me getting the foo-foo dog. But I'm sure the foo-foo dog would have fallen. Oh, I know where the foo-foo dog lives. Okay? I've seen the foo-foo dog running around in the back, not fenced in or anything. Hence, the woman, well, she usually just comes right back in. Yeah. She usually comes right back in. She's not
actually a he.
Untrained dogs are unpredictable. End of story. Your foo-foo dog's going to be dead. Did I say that to her? No. I use myself as an example. My dogs, you can see they're on. I said you can't let an untrained dog out. They're unpredictable. They're your little dog. She was running around in the street.
But this.
And of course, the woman's going to make excuses.
This was this time. And I believe then when it happened again, I actually went up to the house and was talking to the woman, you know. I believe this was the first time it happened, and then it happened again.
Well, I'm in a wheelchair, and I have someone coming every day, but she was sick today, and excuses aren't going to bring back your foo-foo dog when it goes splat.
Excuses aren't going to bring back your foo-foo dog when it goes splat. I know you love the dog, because I got to know you a little bit that day.
Love it to you. My common sense tells me you're in a wheelchair, this dog's your whole fucking world. Even though you have family, that dog's your whole world, I know it is. My common sense tells me that. And you'd be watching from a wheelchair while your dog goes splat.
But again, bad enough that you have to do that part-time. You're not even putting your foot down with your caregivers, despite me repeatedly telling you. Your caregivers don't. Oh, I know what happened. After I had that long conversation with her and she was supposed to straighten things out, she was going to have her son make a runner for the dog, and then nothing happened. And then a few months later, whenever it was, a bitch caregiver, I witnessed the dog start to follow me. I didn't have Omar, and the dog started to follow me, but the caregiver from the doorway, again, she's not in a fucking wheelchair, was calling the dog and it came back, but it did start to follow me. And the thing is, I was just disgusted and I was going to write a letter, and I actually did another video, but I don't know where that video is, and then I never got in contact with the woman again. I had my own shit going on with my mom and this, that, or whatever. But now, just now today, the very first time I walk Omar, after not walking him for a long time, the dog's in the middle of the fucking road. I see him from afar. And before I can get my 2 cents in, I'm screaming from afar. The woman, the caregiver, it's not the woman in the wheelchair, obviously, it was a young girl, comes out and gets the dog. They don't care. And then if the dog winds up dead, oh, Janice, we're sorry, but, you know, Willie doesn't listen, and he went on, and maybe that woman will remember, oh, the blonde told me years ago to put my foot down with you and to tell you not to be so lazy and to put him on a leash, and now look what happened. I don't have my dog anymore, you know? I don't understand people.
So I will always care enough if I see, wishful thinking, I thought the dog got out accidentally. I know the woman's in a wheel. I thought she got out accidentally. No, the woman lets her out. You're asking for, that's it, you're asking for trouble. One of these days you're going to lose your little dog. And then she usually comes back in, so what? Untrained dogs, you don't let them off leash unless you are somewhere.
Usually, it's not always.
The dog can run and run and run, and there's no way it can get hurt or get in the street or anything.
Yeah.
You don't take your chances because the dog usually comes back in.
You don't take your chances, the dog usually comes back in, and now even the stupid, lazy motherfucking caregivers of this woman can't put the little dog on a leash. I'm disgusted. I am so beyond disgusted that I'm beside myself. I needed to vent. That's why I just vented to someone in a car who happened to be a total stranger, but it turned out she has dogs, you know. I wanted to vent. I want people's opinion, and they agree with me. She even said, well, if it keeps happening, maybe we can get all together and file a complaint, you know, to have it stopped. It's just sickening. Nobody wants to accidentally run over that dog. I don't have a car. I don't have to worry. I don't drive. I don't have to worry about running over the car, running over the dog accidentally, but I have to worry about maybe being a witness to it happening, you know? There's no excuse. You have an untrained dog, you do not let that dog out off leash, period. All right? Period. Even Omar, if it's like late at night, I have let him out only since he's been blind. I would never do it when he wasn't blind, ever, ever, ever. Now that he's blind, and I didn't have to worry about it when it was colder and there was a little snow or whatever, but now I can put him out just to, you know, if it's late and I'm not going to get dressed or whatever, just to pee right on the steps, you know. It rains all the time, it goes away, plus I poured soapy water over it, so it's not a big deal. Anyway, I had to do that when I had the broken foot, so. But even him, blind, he started, now that it's nicer, he went down the steps, and I don't want him doing it, so I can't even do that anymore anyway. And the only reason I had to start doing that is because if he has to go, or if he whatever, I don't keep him with his collar on anymore because that caused trouble. Remember, he got his foot caught in the collar because it's too loose on him, the harness. I told you this morning, okay, so this morning Omar's toe got caught in that stupid thing, right? Right? So I examined the thing, I pulled out the string. But you think I was going to be stupid enough to keep that on the bed after I just saw that Omar's toenail get caught in it? No. Just like I wouldn't be stupid enough if my dog is repeatedly running the road and people have yelled at me about it, I'm going to continue to do it? Or not put my foot down with my lazy caregivers, tell them to put the little dog on a leash? I mean, this wasn't a woman who's totally, I remember I talked to her, she's not a woman like totally out of it, or where my mom might be when she's on so much, she's so over-medicated, you know? This is someone I could talk to, and one night she got everything I was saying, but in the end, it's still happening. And it wasn't her doing it, it's her lazy fucking bitch caregivers.
Right? This is different than the goddamn cat I told you about around here. Cats are independent. They're not little foo-foo dogs. I forget what kind of dog it is.
It's a papillion. A papillon.
It's a foo-foo dog. You watch
Papillon. It's a little tiny thing.
Omar goes to the dog park and Omar 41.
Remember, there are animals around here too. I've already told you about that.
What kind of dog that is, I think.
Even the person I was just venting to said, yeah, you have to worry about animals. I know.
Making fun of it. He's like,
What is wrong with these people?
Like this big or something. Have I ever seen anyone walk the dog? No, I think if someone just comes and lets the dog.
At least regarding the poodles across the street, we are on a less of a main road than where this dog is. You know?
When you let that dog out, it's not trained. When I've seen it running around in the backyard, I'm assuming it's trained because I don't know any better. Now I know. I can guarantee you she's still going to do it. If the dog has to go, you know what I mean? She's asking for trouble, but I did my duty.
I was all upset about this, and now even the caregivers.
Yelling at an old woman. I didn't yell at her.
That's
I scolded her from afar.
The dog is untrained. It runs in the road. I just saw it now. The woman, how I was venting to a total stranger, but she was really nice in her car. I stopped.
And an angel.
Because again, there's like no speed limit. It's very, very low, so they're going by slow enough that the window was open. And I said, "Can I talk to you?" When I was walking Omar, and she's like, "Yeah, I've seen that dog in the road too." I'm like, I warned these people. I warned her. She's in a wheelchair, but I warned her when she moved in. She has caregivers that are too lazy to put the dog on a leash, and you know, and these are people who haven't lived here a long, long time that I just stopped in the road to cry to. Because I want backup. That's why I make videos too. I want backup. People are just stupid. They're so fucking stupid. The cat was a different story. That was an old woman that she just could not control that cat. The cat kept getting out, and finally it's an outdoor cat, and that's it. And it lived. It's still alive. All these years later, it didn't get eaten by coyotes, nothing. It's amazing. It's amazing. But the cat is not the same as this little foo-foo dog. I can see the future. Just because it hasn't happened yet doesn't mean it won't happen. You can't think that way. You can't think, oh, well, most of the time the dog comes back in. Yeah. It only takes once. Just like they talk about drinking and driving. Just like my college boyfriend. I drive fine when I'm drunk. Yeah. You drive fine when you're drunk. 99.9% of the times, there's going to be that one time where, because you don't need to have your reflexes, where your reflexes are going to be slow. Do you understand all these people who think they drive fine when they're drunk? They haven't experienced something that has to test that. It's when you have to stop short because, you know what I mean, that's when you get tested and that's when people get killed. Alright? It's the same thing with this dog. Yeah, it comes back in when you call it. If it feels like it, if there's not an Omar or a Laura or another dog or whatever, and in these warm months, we're gonna be out all the time. And don't tell me I don't have a right to get upset and yell. I'm going to yell at that fucking next time it happens with the bitch caregiver. I'm going to say, your dog's going to get killed one of these days. It's not trained. It should be on a leash, period. I told that woman that over a year ago or whatever. End of story. There's no excuse. The lady in the wheelchair had an excuse, but I still wanted her to understand so she would remember if something happened to her dog that I had warned her. That she needs to come up with a different solution. But when her fucking caregivers are too fucking lazy to put the little foo-foo dog on a leash and people, not just me, are seeing it go in the street, no excuse! None!